Hey, kia ora guys, Kristen Harper here, and today I'm joined by Robert Hollis. Brother, how are you?
Kia ora, my friend.
Good to see you. Hey, guys, that one question. What was the number one skill or attribute that you needed when you first started out in business to be successful?
Even though I know what you're going to ask me, I was just thinking the way you asked it was, I still think that same skill set applies not only to when you started, but actually to today, which Absolutely. I feel it's this overarching, for me anyway, I guess being entrepreneurial and, you know, failed high school, couldn't get into uni, all that stuff, and self-starter, blah, blah, is this idea around almost like naive persistence, where when you're so into it, you're just like, no, I'm go, 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 go. But then at the start, you do it with naivety because you've got no idea because you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But then when you get older, you're still persistent. You just try to drop the naivety. And I think over time, as you get older and you have more losses and you eat shit and whatever, the lens gets a bit clearer to where you decide to allocate your energy and effort. So I think it's still the persistence and resilience of being able to keep going, but also it feels like it gets a little easier as you keep going when you realize that usually when you start, you don't have much support of a network around you or people that are elevating you. And then it feels like as you keep going, after enough time, all the weak links have all pissed off anyway. So it feels like, for me anyway, I've had more support as I've kept going, because as you go through more experiences, you know, the weak links piss off and the good crew get tight. So then you're still persistent and resilient, but then it feels like you're more supported. And so it's kind of that thing of, at the start it's the hardest, and then it just gets harder in different ways when you get older. So but persistence throughout. You're definitely more naive when you start. And usually as well, if you're a male, if you're an alpha male, usually ego and arrogance and overconfidence in your early 20s or whatever, when you haven't done shit yet, but you think you know everything, that's what slows up that as well. So there's always a danger between, is it naivety or is it arrogance and stubbornness? And majority of the time for alpha males, and some females too, but most of the time the rah-rah males, and I was there for a mid as well, it'd be that too. But then when you get rid of that, and then you really get rid of the naivety and you have a tight pocket, it makes a thing. So to answer the question, it's the overall resilience and persistence.
Cool. I like that naive persistence, because you're right, when we do start out, it's like, shit, I can bloody rule the world and I can do all this sort of stuff, but then life just sort of smacks you in the face every now and then. It's just like, oh shit, I need to divert here, I need to go that way. But I love what you said about allocate energy and effort. This is something that I guess from a sales point of view, talk about quite a lot, is the energy that you bring to something, because it has a big impact. Can you talk me a wee bit through that? You know, just allocating the energy and the effort side of it, and sort of what that actually means to you.
Yeah. So the simplest way would be when they talk about depth, not width. You know, like putting in it, like putting all you're just going down this crazy rabbit hole, and I always fought against that a little bit, because I looked at someone like a Richard Branson who's gone super wide.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, does it have to always just be depth, not width? Maybe it doesn't. Stuff it. And then so you go wide like a shotgun. So I think of it like shotgun to sniper. So you come in, you're like, I'm young, I'm gonna try everything. Yep, go, 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 go. And you just like try to shoot and kill everything. And then you get to a spot and you realize, none of these things are actually dying or killing it yet. So I need to snipe around and then go for the kill shot. So the focus of energy almost as a byproduct after you've kind of potentially more, I guess, internalized where you want to laser focus that energy and the effort. And a big one for me, I've always super struggled with that, and I still do today. You know, like I remember the CEO of Saatchi's at the time, he's like, Robert, you're just kind of like a fire hose, but no one's holding it.
Oh, I love the analogy. That's
and he goes, but if you could just aim it, just aim it, it's going to destroy. And I totally just aim it at the fire, and it's true. And so when it comes to energy, then it comes to this thing of like, where you choose to allocate that. So now it translates to time, because I know that if I'm into something, I just flip and send it anyway. I'm not there to piss around. So if I'm there, let's go flip on 110%. So it's just more choosing, you know, it's like you're at the arcade machine, you've got that little game, you just got to choose where the sort of the aim goes. I'm kind of there now, but I still like this balance of width. But so then when it comes to the energy, I transfer energy into time. So then I think about, well, where do I choose my time? You know,
it's where you qualify to choose your time, and I think that comes with age as well, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Experience.
But also, the more you can pre-read where you think situations will go, it gives you a better handle on how much time you could lose. So if you're like with a couple of crew and there's just this weird dynamic going on, you can kind of see or predict. I mean, you've been in it a bunch before. You can see what's going to happen. You're like, this is going to happen. Like, I know because of this dynamic or this dynamic or this ego or this position or this market conditions, that thing's going to happen. So then you just go, okay, so if you know that's going to happen, do you make the call now because then you save the time?
Yeah. And
so the reality is you get better at that when you're older. So it just becomes about, I guess, allocating that a little bit better and having a bit more foresight into questions to ask yourself around how you allocate the time. So my one for me, which it's a simple kind of stupid thing, but it works for me, is a thing called a life regrettage percentage of
life regrettage.
If I do this thing, will this increase or decrease my life regrettage percentage? So it came from, I was at did a conference. Someone asked me, hey, what's your biggest regret? And I said, one of my biggest regrets is I think I could have got to where I was at 30 by the time I was 27, but I had too much ego and arrogance in my early 20s thinking I could do everything myself, because you can just do everything. And then what you realize is that, you know, at 30 years old, I lost 3 years. So I had a life regrettage percentage of 10%.
Yeah.
But as I said, said a few times, I'd rather be 30 years old with a life regrettage percentage of 10% than being 50, doing something I've hated for 25 years, and then you're sitting with a life regrettage percentage of 50%. At 50 years old, you're kind of stuffed. And so now, to answer the question, Kay, when it comes to the energy, I'll go, cool. Is this shotgun or sniper? And then will this increase or decrease my life regrettage percentage? And it starts there. And then I have the 3 things on top of it of just like, my big 3 is like, you know, create things I'm proud of, scale value to empower and support others, and then enjoy the ride. So if it goes shotgun to sniper, then I do that stack, will it increase or decrease? And then I do my stack of 3. That's how I then decide, it's like, yeah, stuff it, let's give it a crack. And then I just go a hundy. So it's kind of my process of how I think about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Stuff it, let's just give it a go. Robert, thank you for sharing your value, brother. Really cool just hearing the way that you, I guess, your lens of things and I guess how you approach business and the way that you sort of structure it. But, bro, I really appreciate your time.
Anything for you, bro. Much love.
Man.